Good evening, everyone. How are you doing? Now we have election time in Norway, and yoo-hoo, is it exciting as always? Now we have a whole line of suggestions, actually. Um, the first of them has been not only a suggestion, but it seems like it will be introduced that we will now be paying uh, for electricity to the gas installations in the northern sea regions of Norway, so that it will be much more expensive now to finance the power supply of the gas installations, where much of the natural gas resources from Norwegian installations are and plants. Gas production sites are located. Several of them are located in the north of Norway. Some also further south along the west coast. But then one of the major ones now will be equipped with electricity from land, which will make the production much more expensive, of course, and it will be something that also will be charged through uh, taxes and will be much more uh, expensive than before, and will have to be paid, of course, by every taxpayer as usual. We know this story from earlier, uh, and it will be something that will be done to save the environment, to make the production more environmental friendly. Is what they've been arguing with, uh, while it will also be a very heavy expense of Norwegian households, of course. Mhm. Um, Also, we have not only this to expect, but we also have more increasing power and electricity expenses because of the expenses of making a common uh, power supply cable connection with the European countries, where Norway was earlier self-supplied with electricity and could enjoy quite cheap electricity through the years. Now there will be a significantly higher prices to pay in the time to come, as there is a common uh, supply supply net all through Europe in connection with many European countries. And Norway's independence and self-supplies of energy seems now to be passed because of uh, decisions that have been made through the so-called ACER cooperation, ACER cooperation, where uh, the electricity expenses are from Norwegian households are now as much as 10 times higher than before, and you would have to pay per kilowatt hour uh, four, four or five, or three, four, even 5 kroner, whereas before you would only be paying less than a quarter of a krona. So we live in times with great changes and skyrocketing expenses in many areas, and also Norwegian consumers have to pay a significant amount of these prices. And we uh, we see that this is something that is a big change from earlier, as Norwegians were self-supplied and had independence in this area, and we had our own hydroelectric resources, and it's a scenario which has totally changed now, and this should be um, a national priority to secure that we have our own energy supply for our own people to keep warm in the winter, so that we will not freeze in the winter, and have enough electricity for ovens and baking, uh, baking and cooking, and washing clothes, and also for heating our offices and and our factories and production sites, and also, of course, public and different public and private institutions within health and education, childcare, and and many other services that all rely on affordable electricity. So this is something that we are concerned that this will not be a concern of the major Norwegian parties in these municipal elections. So make sure that you vote for a smaller party who will prioritize lower expenses and Nor- Norwegian independence in this area also in the future, and to cut all the unnecessary expenses connected with cooperation with other European countries, not before the self-supply of Norwegian consumers is assured first. Then we can export excess to Europe, um, and also have agreements with European countries about the excess amounts of electricity production when this is possible. So here is also a possible solution of this quite insane decision which has been made and which has now been governing the Norwegian electricity policy during the last years. So let's get back to normal. And also the expenses of the Norwegian government to and the expenses that are being paid especially to foreign aid to, for example, new embassy in Congo for millions of kroner, and also to many regimes which receive a lot of aid which we do not know where it goes and what is the purpose. We ask for that this will stop, and that we also do not have to support support those who want to waste money on these projects where we don't even know where they go, and there is corruption, and there is so much fraud, and so much money which just disappears in all these foreign aid projects. There was a project a few years ago. It was in 2005. They found that there was a fake hunger crisis in Niger, Niger, in the one of the bigger countries in Central Africa, and it proved to be a fraud. And BBC and Norwegian Refugee Council and many other big institutions had was exposed that they had committed fraud, and it was all a fake hunger crisis. There was never a hunger crisis there, but they still supported it. So we don't want to support these projects which do not exist. We want to spend money on real investments and for the good of common people. And we do not need to pay for. We do not need to pay for big expenses to a culture ministry, where we can support people who create art and literature and theater and ballet and folklore and many different kinds of fine arts and dance and many other different festivals, shows, culture cities, culture projects, exhibitions, art exhibitions, museums, and many other areas of cultures. This can be distributed quite easily without wasting a lot of money on a big culture ministry. So it's about time that this is being that we're closing unnecessary institutions like this, and also closing unnecessary parts of the education ministry where they just are making a lot of reforms where the students are just deciding over the teachers, and the teachers have no authority, and there are no results in the PISA measurements, where children should be able to at least mastered fundamental mathematics and science, not without being perfect, but where you should not expect that they get some of the poorest results in Europe compared to, for example, countries like Finland, where they are some of the best. We don't need to be perfect, and we don't need to work as slaves to better, but we can just have some principles and some standards, and make some requirements that make it easier for everyone to have a certain standard basic level of knowledge in mathematics and science, and we can acquire this quite easily with just a little more will, and not to just focus on supporting everyone's weaknesses, but actually make some requirements and try to get there, and also make some goals clear to students that we'd have to try to reach those goals and learn those skills in different subjects within a certain amount of time, and that you can do great in life and create something great in your own life if you just try to meet those requirements, and that you do not have to be perfect, but you have to try to set some goals in your life, and this is very important in school, and not much of the educational policy today, I think, is aiming on this. So we need to have more rewards for those also who really get good results and want to create and invent something and start new companies in Norway, and we should have support for startups. Should have support for new companies, for small hydroelectric stations, for producing hydroelectricity, for solar panels, for renewable energy, for good computer programs that can help students learn skills faster, and health apps, programs, different apps and programs that can help make life easier in general, and also the invention of new apps, which is also something which we should support, the innovation of people, and the creative abilities of students. So we should not waste more money now. We have wasted so much already on also on social security, also for criminals and terrorists, and for people who even can be dangerous, and we should not let go of people who have been committing serious crimes, violence, rape, murders, and it should be punished. And if they are not legal residents in Norway, or if they are violating Norwegian law and still trying to live as foreigners in Norway, they will not be allowed to live here if they commit crimes, and we do not accept it. It's as simple as that. So you have to follow the law if you want to live in Norway, and it's not so difficult because the law is not unfair. It is something which should be fair to everyone, and you should be trying to abide to it, because we want to be as fair a society to everyone, and if anything is unfair, we should be improved, and we should improve it, of course. And we also have to think critical, but we cannot accept that money is being wasted and spent anymore. Also for lots of furniture that's being rotten in, for example, the municipality of Oslo, outside furniture, and bike roads, bike trails that are not being used, and water electricity plants that are costing millions more than it was first estimated, and just the waste of money on a lot of bureaucracy, and departments where they are just not creating anything which can be measured with any results, and also the harassment of parents who are just trying to be good parents for their children and work hard and take care of their families, so that they should be suspected of being bad parents and investigated by authorities for months, and some of them even losing their children because they're only being suspected of being bad parents, but nothing's been proven, and then it creates a terrible pain for a lot of families, and it's such a suffering, and that there should be no money wasted on this. So all of this should just be stopped, and we should be able to have just spend money on law and order and basic help for people in real need and real crisis, emergency services, and a good education system where people are being encouraged to stand on their own feet, and of course basic infrastructure, roads, railroads, and good defense, and of course good health institutions, and also elderly care. Some places where elderly can have a place where they're being can be taken care of, but also help families take care of themselves, take care of each other, also the elderly, also children, that parents can have good conditions for taking care of each other, and people can be encouraged to help each other, support small help communities where people can meet each other and ask each other if they need help, in community houses, in churches, and social meeting places, where people can offer each other help, where some people who have more resources can help people with less resources, and people can come to these meeting places, and there can also be support programs and scholarships for these kinds these kinds of meeting places, which is very, very important, so that nobody will feel lonely or abandoned, but so everyone can feel included, because it's very important that everyone feels included in our society, and we want that, and that's important. And vote for parties who are for this, and they are mostly small parties now, so look at them and vote for them, and do not vote for the big established parties who are just want to take more taxes and make it more difficult for everyone, because there's a lot of selfishness and a lot of elite thinking right now, and avoid any elite thinking party now. So don't vote for any established party with elite thinking and elite policies, and just more of oppression and taking away your freedom, and locking you down if there is a epidemic, and there's no proof that it's really you don't really have the proof that it's dangerous, and you just don't want to vote for parties that take your freedom. So you need to just vote for someone who protects your freedom as much as possible, and also, of course, at the same time, law and order. This is also fundamental importance. So just be careful. Do not vote for those who are corrupted and are just taking your money and just want to continue with their same empty words with no meaning behind it. These are the things I'm thinking about before this election. Don't vote for the established ones. Vote for small parties who will make Norway better, and start your own, and look for my party also, because I will be coming in with a new party, Future of Norway, for the next national elections in 2 years. So please follow me if you like this, put a like, and subscribe if you like this video, and think about these things now. And thank you for considering it now before the municipal elections tomorrow on the 11th of September. Thank you.